From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aishah Ashraf. Our top story for today: the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, has condemned billionaire Elon Musk for supporting a post falsely labeling Muslim and Arab American groups as terrorist organizations. Musk, responding to a post on X, questioned why the U.S. funds groups that he claims hate us, implying they had terror links. CAIR called his remarks reckless and dangerous, warning that they fuel Islamophobia and put American Muslim communities at risk. The post Musk replied to accused USAID of giving more than $164 million to what it claims are terror-linked organizations, listing several Muslim and Arab American nonprofits. CAIR noted that many of these groups are registered charities that have worked with the U.S. government. The civil rights advocacy group also criticized Musk for spreading misinformation while ignoring other global issues. It called on him to focus on real concerns instead of defaming law-abiding American organizations. At least 3 federal agencies have told employees to ignore Elon Musk's directive to justify their jobs. They include the FBI, State Department, and the Pentagon. Musk, leading the Department of Government Efficiency under President Donald Trump, warned that non-compliance would be treated as resignation. FBI Director Kash Patel instructed staff to pause any responses, while the State Department stressed employees need to only report to their chain of command. The Pentagon echoed this stance, saying responses would be coordinated internally. Trump praised Musk for tackling government waste, urging him to be even more aggressive. However, the American Federation of Government Employees has condemned the move, calling it cruel and disrespectful. The union, representing 750,000 workers, vowed to fight any unlawful terminations. Musk's team has already cut thousands of federal jobs, with 75,000 workers reportedly accepting buyouts. Trump also ended remote work for federal employees, warning that those who do not return to offices will be fired. The White House has yet to comment on the growing backlash. Republican lawmakers are facing voter anger over President Donald Trump's sweeping policies. At the Conservative Political Action Conference last week in Washington, D.C., Trump vowed to continue his aggressive agenda, including job cuts and slashing public programs. But across the country, GOP lawmakers are being confronted by furious constituents. In Georgia, Representative Rich McCormick faced backlash over federal employee firings. In Texas, Representative Pete Sessions was pressed on protecting social safety programs. Similar outrage erupted in Alaska and Oklahoma, where voters questioned the role of Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency in making drastic cuts. Trump's own pollster warned that moving forward with GOP plans to hand out $4.5 trillion in tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy will be perilous for the party. Critics argue that Trump's executive orders bypass Congress, leading to reckless decisions. House Republicans are set to vote on a budget that could cut Medicaid and food assistance, moves that could cost them seats in the 2026 midterm elections. Polls show that Trump's approval is slipping in key Republican districts. With economic worries rising, 80% of voters support extending healthcare subsidies. Meanwhile, Trump remains defiant, urging Musk to push even harder. With protests growing, GOP lawmakers face a tough choice: stick with Trump's agenda or risk losing voter support. The FBI is set to relocate 1,500 personnel from Washington to field offices across the U.S. as part of Director Kash Patel's decentralization plan. Approximately 1,000 agents and staff will move to high-crime areas, while 500 will be stationed at the FBI's Huntsville, Alabama site. Patel aims to strengthen local crime-fighting efforts. In a message to employees, he emphasized reducing Washington's role and expanding field operations. At his confirmation, Patel criticized the FBI's concentration in the Capitol and vowed to deploy more agents nationwide. Sworn in on Friday, Patel pledged accountability within and outside the FBI. He promised constitutional oversight and a renewed focus on violent crime. Observers say the plan marks a major shift in FBI operations with a focus on direct engagement with local law enforcement. The Trump administration is laying off 2,000 USAID workers and putting most of the agency's staff on administrative leave. An email sent to employees on Sunday night says only essential personnel will remain. A program will also be launched to help staff return home if they choose. The shutdown follows recommendations from billionaire Elon Musk, head of the Department of Government Efficiency. The move has disrupted global aid programs affecting NGOs and media organizations dependent on USAID funding. Further details on the layoffs will be shared in upcoming emails. USAID, which was founded in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy, is an independent agency. Experts say any attempt to eliminate it would require congressional approval. The U.S. supports Israel's decision to delay releasing 620 Palestinian prisoners as part of a ceasefire agreement with Hamas. National Security Council spokesman Brian Hughes said President Donald Trump is prepared to support Israel in whatever course of action it chooses regarding Hamas. Israel was scheduled to release 620 prisoners on Saturday under the first phase of a Gaza truce agreement in return for 6 Israeli prisoners. But the Israeli government delayed the releases, citing what it claimed were humiliating hostage handovers. The deal took effect last month, halting Israel's genocide in Gaza, which has killed more than 61,000 people, mostly women and children, and left the enclave in ruins. The International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants in November for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. Israel also faces a genocide case at the International Court of Justice for its war on the enclave. Palestinian video game brings 1948 Nakba to life. Details come after the break. Stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back. Palestinian game developer Rashid Abouede is bringing the story of the Nakba to life through his new game Dreams on a Pillow. The Nakba refers to Zionists' ethnic cleansing of Palestinians to make way for their establishment of Israel in 1948. Israelis killed and displaced Palestinians, taking their property and belongings while suppressing their culture, identity, political rights, and national aspirations. The side-scrolling stealth game follows a Palestinian mother who mistakenly clings to a pillow instead of her child while fleeing the Nakba. Players must navigate Om's emotional and physical struggles, balancing survival and psychological trauma. The game also recreates pre-war Palestinian cities, offering a glimpse into a lost past. The game recently secured more than $200,000 through crowdfunding, allowing Abouede and his team to focus on development. Working from the occupied West Bank, he calls game making a challenge in a war zone. Abouede, known for the video game Layla and the Shadows of War, hopes Dreams on a Pillow fosters global understanding of the Palestinian struggle. With funding secured for the first production phase, Dreams on a Pillow is set for release late next year. Education has resumed in Gaza for the first time since Israel's genocide in the region began in October 2023. Al-Nasr School in Western Gaza reopened its doors after nearly 18 months of closure due to Israeli airstrikes. Despite massive destruction and shortages of school supplies, observers say students and teachers returned with resilience. More than 788,000 students had been out of school since the genocide began, facing displacement, hunger, and trauma. Most schools have been destroyed or severely damaged. Many students now attend classes in tents and makeshift learning centers. Some schools still shelter displaced families, making space for learning difficult. The Education Ministry has vowed to continue classes despite the crisis. Teachers and students expressed joy and sorrow, happy to be back but heartbroken over lost classmates and ruined schools. Of the 17,800 Palestinian children killed by the Israeli occupation forces in Gaza, 12,701 were students. Over 20,000 students were wounded, the Education Ministry said in a December report. Israeli occupation forces also killed 619 Palestinian teachers and school administrators and wounded 3,831 others. Israeli airstrikes have leveled 77 government schools in Gaza and severely damaged 171 others. Another 191 schools were bombed or defaced, including 65 UN schools. The ministry urged international organizations to help rebuild Gaza's education sector. Israel's army has released footage of an airstrike in Lebanon's capital Beirut that targeted and killed Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah. State news agency NNA said that the mass funeral for Nasrallah and senior Hezbollah member Hashem Safieddin started at the Kamil Shamoun Sports City amid tight security. Nasrallah was assassinated in Israeli airstrikes on September 27th. Thousands of mourners gathered in Beirut on Sunday for his funeral. UN Special Envoy on Myanmar, Julie Bishop, has called for a swift political settlement to allow the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh to return home. Bishop made the appeal in a meeting with Bangladesh's interim government advisor, Tawheed Hussain, in the country's capital, Dhaka. More than 1.2 million Rohingya have been living in the Bangladeshi city of Cox's Bazar since fleeing Burma's brutal military crackdown in 2017. That has been described as a genocide aimed at the Rohingya community. Bishop is visiting refugee camps while on a 2-day trip. She has vowed to keep global attention on the crisis and backed a proposed UN conference to push for international action. Hussain stressed the crisis is a burden on Bangladesh and a threat to regional stability. He warned that failure to resolve it could worsen security in the region and urged greater international pressure on Burma to end the violence. Hussain also called for regional support in rebuilding the country. Bangladesh's interim chief advisor Muhammad Yunus recently revealed that another 100,000 Rohingya have fled Burma due to ongoing conflict, increasing pressure on his country. Both sides have agreed to work together for a lasting solution at the upcoming UN conference. Former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has publicly apologized for the 2004 Nakba massacre, where 78 Muslim protesters suffocated in military trucks. Speaking at a school in the province Narathiwat, Thaksin said, "If mistakes were made that caused dissatisfaction, I ask for forgiveness so I can help solve the problems." The Nakba incident occurred when security forces cracked down on demonstrators protesting the arrest of 6 village defense volunteers. Many were detained and transported in overcrowded army trucks, leading to the deaths. For 2 decades, no officials have been held accountable. The case was dismissed this year due to the statute of limitations. This is the first time Thaksin has apologized for the massacre. Last year, his daughter, Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, also expressed regret on behalf of the government. Turkey's Anadolu news agency photojournalist Mustafa Hasuna was awarded 2nd place at the Exposure 2025 International Photography Festival in the United Arab Emirates. Hasuna, a Palestinian journalist, participated in the festival held in Sharjah with his photograph depicting Israel's ongoing brutal military campaign in Gaza. The first place award went to another Palestinian photographer, Sahir Al-Ghavar. Hasuna said he has been striving to highlight the suffering and oppression faced by people in Gaza. He has received multiple international accolades, including the Jury Special Award at the World Press Photo Competition for his work, Israel's Attacks on Gaza. A rare collection of Islamic relics, including a lock and key from the Kaaba, is on display at Bradford City Hall in England's West Yorkshire. The exhibition, which started Saturday, offers a unique opportunity to see sacred artifacts up close. Organizer Riaz Manyar calls it a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The display includes a 29-foot-long kiswa, the silk cloth covering the Kaaba, woven with gold and silver threads. Visitors also can see relics from inside Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's tomb, centuries-old Ottoman artifacts, and a 250-year-old Kaaba lock and key. The pieces, donated by Saudi authorities, highlight Islamic heritage. Previously showcased in Birmingham and Dewsbury, the exhibit will move to Batley Town Hall in April. Supported by Bradford City Hall and local groups, the event is open to all. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.